Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the AIO subreddit. The post is titled, "My boyfriend behaved weirdly when meeting my parents. I, 19F, am a college student dating a man, Martin, 20M, who I got together with last year. He had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving, so we went to my parents' house together. There was a bit of a complication with travel, so we left about a week ago and only got back 4 days ago. Everything was fine when we left for the airport, got on the plane, during the flight, and even when we landed. But as soon as he saw my dad's waiting at the airport, he suddenly got really quiet. For context, I have two dads. My dad, 46M, and my appa, 44M. They had me through a surrogate who's essentially my aunt, a close friend of theirs. Biologically, I'm related to my appa, but they are both my fathers. Martin shook their hands, said hello, and introduced himself, but he was really quiet during the car ride home and all through dinner until we went to bed. Then he confronted me pretty defensively and asked why I hadn't told him I had two dads. I know for a fact I told him. In casual conversation, I usually avoid specifying which dad I'm talking about, because when you're the daughter of two gay dads, people sometimes treat you like a curiosity. But I've made it clear before that I have one dad and one appa. It's possible he didn't realize appa means dad since it's a Korean word and Martin is white. We had a small argument about it. I assured him that I had told him before, but I didn't understand why it was such a big deal. He just huffed, said he needed time to think, and went to bed without saying goodnight. The next morning, we had our big Thanksgiving meal a few weeks late, and he was just as quiet as before. I tried to include him in conversations, but he kept pushing his food around, which I know upset my appa. He's very proud of his cooking. After dinner, my appa asked Martin to help clear the table and set out dessert, but Martin flat out said, "No, I'm going outside for a smoke," and left. I apologized for him and said I had no idea why he was acting this way. After half an hour, he still hadn't come back in, so I went to check on him, but he was gone. When I called, he said he couldn't stay there, that he was getting a hotel for the night, and asked me to bring his bag to the airport the next day. When I pressed for what I'd done wrong, he just said, "I don't want to talk about it here," and hung up. I went back inside and told my dads what happened. They were, of course, incredibly sweet. We curled up on the couch and watched Christmas movies before I went to bed. The next morning, when I got to the airport, Martin wouldn't say more than a few words to me. He just kept repeating, "We'll talk about it later." It's been 3 days since then, and he still hasn't called or texted me back. I guess he really doesn't want to talk. Am I overreacting for wanting to break up with him over this when I don't even know if I did anything wrong? I know he's not homophobic. His brother and best friend are both gay, and he's always been fine with that. But I don't even understand why he's so upset. Part of me feels like I should hear him out, but this is my first serious relationship, and I don't want it to end over something so stupid. Concentrate Sad said, "I can tolerate different races or orientations, but I draw the line at not objectifying women is certainly a take." Key Advance said, "So it wasn't homophobia, I even suspected racism and xenophobia. Turns out he is just a run-of-the-mill red-pilled misogynist." This next story was made in the Off My Chest subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, "I'm about to ruin my best friend's life and I don't feel remorse. My soon-to-be ex-best friend and I have been friends since middle school. We know everything about each other. Our families are basically one big family now. You get the idea. Like I said, we tell each other everything. Recently, she came to me and told me she's been having an affair for about 4 months with her superior at her new job. She started about a year ago. She didn't tell me out of guilt. She told me to brag about the dream vacation she's going on with her affair partner, disguised as a work trip. She even asked me to cover for her if her husband asked whether we'd been in contact because she planned to go completely off the grid for that week, so he'd have no way of finding out. Side note, we've both known her husband since high school. They're high school sweethearts and have been together for almost 15 years. Her husband is one of the most honest, hardworking, and genuine people I know. Of course, he believes everything she says about working late and the business trip because he trusts her more than he trusts himself. I told her I wouldn't cover for her and asked her to leave my house because I couldn't even look at her at that point. Later, I told my husband everything and he was just as shocked and disgusted. Her husband is basically his best friend now, so he naturally feels a lot of loyalty toward him. My husband then pointed out something I hadn't even thought of, our security camera. It caught everything. We plan on going to her husband tonight with the proof. What he chooses to do after that will be entirely up to him, but he deserves to know the truth. Secondly, we're taking this to her workplace. As far as I know, fraternization of any kind is prohibited there, especially between a supervisor and an employee. She was also promoted once by the same supervisor, which could be seen as favoritism. Our guess is that they'll both be fired. Finally, I'm going to send a clip of her admitting to the affair to her family members and mine. Our families are deeply intertwined, so I'll have no problem reaching most of them. I'm not giving her the chance to twist this around on me or manipulate her husband. Some people might think this is harsh, but I completely disagree. Small update, everyone involved, Alyssa the best friend, Noah best friend's husband. I decided to take the advice of a few people and reach out to Alyssa before I went to her husband. I recorded the conversation and told her in advance that I was doing so for my own safety. She still seemed extremely nonchalant about the whole thing. I told her I was worried for her, and even for her, this was very out of character behavior. Long story short, she said she's been feeling very weak and unbalanced in her marriage with Noah. For context, Noah went to trade school and makes very good money, while up until her promotion, Alyssa was making just above minimum wage. Recently, she's been reading up on some anti-traditional value spaces online, and the women in those forums attacked her for making less than her husband. She explained that she noticed her supervisor trying to flirt with her, and her internet friends encouraged her to run with it and use him to move up at work. She admitted that she did, and that she eventually became emotionally attached to him as well. Overall, she said she doesn't really regret the affair because it helped her career and because she found love. I told her she had the option to tell Noah the truth before I did, but that my husband and I would be coming over that night with the video of her admitting to the affair, so she wouldn't have a chance to twist things in her favor. Once again, she just said okay in the same casual tone and hung up. I honestly don't know what the heck is going on. I can't tell if she's having some kind of mental break or if she's just so detached from her marriage that she doesn't care what happens anymore. My husband and I still plan on going to Noah's tonight, but I'm honestly curious to see what she'll say to him, if she says anything at all. Update. People involved, ex-best friend is Alyssa and best friend's husband is Noah. I took a lot of people's advice and decided not to go nuclear. As many of you said, at the end of the day, it's not my circus. The decision should be left to the wronged party, and that's Noah. I also decided to reach out to Alyssa before telling him, to give her the chance to confess to Noah herself. After I talked to her, I seriously considered reaching out to her parents about getting her medical help because she was so unbothered and non-remorseful about the affair that I honestly thought she might be having some kind of mental break or psychosis. Alyssa has always been the type to find loopholes or shortcuts to get ahead, but cheating on her husband of almost 2 decades for financial gain, that's not normal. If you didn't see my small update, the reason Alyssa started the affair in the first place was to get a promotion at work. It eventually turned into an emotional affair. She told me that her new friends from some feminism forums and Facebook groups told her she wasn't as valuable if she earned significantly less than her spouse, an insecurity I've since learned ran deeper than she ever admitted. They also told her that using a man for career advancement wasn't really cheating as long as there was no emotional attachment, and that she was just being a girl boss. She admitted she couldn't separate her feelings from the physical relationship and that things developed into regular dates and vacations. Eventually, she and her affair partner started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. The affair partner knows she's married, but was told that she and Noah were on the verge of separation. My husband and I went over to Alyssa and Noah's house with some food and a few drinks. By the time we got there, Noah had already gone through an entire bottle of wine. Surprisingly, Alyssa did confess to him about the affair, but according to Noah, she was completely cold and unapologetic. She told him she wasn't going on a business trip this week, but rather on a vacation with her boyfriend. Noah, being the sweet, loyal person he is, thought she'd meant to say husband and got excited. He asked if they were finally going to Italy like they had planned, but Alyssa just stared at him and repeated, "with my boyfriend." It took a few moments for it to sink in. He told us it wasn't pretty after that. He admitted that, embarrassingly, he got on his knees and begged her to fix things. She yelled for a bit, then gave him the silent treatment. She was already packed to leave and walked out, leaving him sobbing. She turned off her location. We were both connected with her on the family app, and we have no idea where she went. We assume she went to her affair partner's house, since if she had gone home with 2 suitcases, her mother, who considers Noah a son, would have reached out immediately. We sat down with Noah and told him we had video and audio proof of Alyssa admitting to and describing the affair. We gave him copies in case he needed them. I explained that in a moment of blind rage, I had wanted to go scorched earth and tell everyone, but once I calmed down, I realized that wouldn't have been fair. Going fully nuclear would only hurt Noah, especially since Alyssa clearly doesn't care anymore. As I suspected, part of Noah still wants to reconcile, but even he admits it's probably impossible. Reconciliation requires both people to accept responsibility and want to repair the relationship, and Alyssa clearly doesn't. We've connected Noah with one of my husband's friends, a lawyer who agreed to help him pro bono until the divorce is finalized. I can tell Noah's still struggling with the idea of ending things, but he also knows he can't force Alyssa to stay. As many of the comments suggested, this is where we bow out. We're obviously going to continue supporting Noah, but this isn't our situation to handle. It's his. If there are any future updates, I'll of course ask Noah first, but you'll be the second to know. Thank you all for being so supportive and helpful. This whole experience made me realize that how Noah handles his life and marriage is his responsibility, not mine. Edit, I wanted to clear up some questions from the last post that I didn't really answer in the update. What did Alyssa ever do to you that made you want to go so nuclear? Honestly, nothing specific. As I mentioned before, over the past few years, our friendship became more a matter of convenience than anything else. We have basically stayed friends because we've known each other for so long, and at least that way, we each had one friend. Alyssa has always had qualities I didn't necessarily agree with, but don't we all? I think the whole situation just made my blood boil, especially because Alyssa has always been disgusted by cheaters. She used to cut dozens of people out of her life rather than tolerate someone's infidelity. So for her to do a complete 180 and not show an ounce of guilt for what she did, it just baffles me. That's part of why I think she's having some kind of mental breakdown. It's not just hypocritical, it's wildly out of character for her. Are you in love with Noah? Of course not. Praising someone and acknowledging that they're a genuine good person doesn't automatically mean you want to sleep with them. My relationship with Noah has always been entirely platonic. He loved Alyssa and I loved seeing them happy together. I love my husband and have only ever seen Noah as a brother. Use a little logic, people. Update 2. Well, I didn't expect to be back so soon, but the past week has basically been a speedrun of terrible events. This will probably be my last update, so consider this the conclusion of everything that's happened. Everything bad that could have happened, happened. The last 2 days specifically have been absolutely horrible. Sorry if this seems scattered, I still am. I'm not sure if it was the day Alyssa left or the day after, but she and her affair partner went on their vacation. I only know because she posted pictures all over social media with him. She had absolutely no shame. It was painfully clear that even if she wasn't officially divorced yet, this was her new boyfriend. That, of course, alerted her family to what was going on. Noah's phone started blowing up with calls and messages, apologies, accusations, questions, everything. And Noah, being the people pleaser he is, told her family they were on a mutual break instead of admitting that Alyssa had cheated on him and that the man in her pictures was the affair partner. Fortunately, Alyssa's mom didn't believe that story and came to me directly. I didn't hold back. I told her Alyssa had been cheating on Noah for months, that she had bragged to me about her sugar daddy affair partner, and that the only reason she came clean to Noah was because she'd been backed into a corner. That's when Alyssa's mom dropped a bombshell on me that even I didn't know. Alyssa has always been a serial cheater. She told me that back in high school, Alyssa would bring boys home under the guise of school projects or sports-related stuff, but that she once caught Alyssa kissing 2 different boys. Keep in mind, she was dating Noah at the time. Her mom said she brushed it off as teenage hormones and never thought much of it. She also said she never expected Alyssa to actually marry her high school boyfriend. And by the time they did, she assumed that behavior was behind her. Neither of us knows if Alyssa continued cheating between then and now, but honestly, I don't really care to find out. It does explain, though, why she seems so casual and detached about all of this. Apparently, cheating is nothing new for her. I guess those girl boss friends of hers triggered something in her. Maybe she remembered how easily she used to get away with it and decided to do it again. I don't know, I'll admit, I kind of yelled at Alyssa's mom, and I'm not proud of it. Like I've said before, she's basically a second mom to me, so I don't really keep formalities with her. I just lost it. I told her she'd set Noah up for this kind of life when he could have found someone 10 times better. She took it like a champ and just let me vent until I calmed down. I eventually apologized for yelling, but I still told her calmly, "You and I both know Noah deserved better. You should have said something before he married her." She agreed, but said there was no point dwelling on that now, that the real priority was supporting Noah. I told her if she truly wanted to support Noah, she could have told him his fiancée was a cheater 10 years ago. Then I hung up on her. We've since talked again. We're fine now, but I was just too angry in the moment. The next thing that happened was that the photos got back to a colleague, and both Alyssa and her affair partner were out of a job before their vacation was even over. As I suspected, their workplace was furious. They determined that Alyssa's promotion had indeed been favoritism, and they were both fired. Noah told me there were at least 3 HR complaints about them, so it was a no-brainer. Of course, the beautiful relationship Alyssa and her affair partner had quickly turned sour as soon as he realized he'd lost his 6-figure job because of her. He was so pissed that he even canceled Alyssa's plane ticket home out of spite and planned to leave her stranded there. This is the part that will disappoint all of you, and me too, but Noah immediately forgave her. He bought her a new ticket and moved her back in. She told him it had been a huge mistake and that seeing how badly her affair partner treated her made her realize what she could have lost. Obviously, my husband and I think that's complete BS, but you already know Noah ate that up. He told us that he's urging her to go to couples counseling, but of course it's not an ultimatum, so she basically got to have her cake and eat it too, with no real consequences. We told Noah before and reminded him again that if he decided to take Alyssa back, we'd be going at least low contact. We've kept our word. We've completely blocked Alyssa, and while Noah isn't blocked, we don't plan on engaging in small talk or accepting any invitations. We refuse to pretend that none of this happened because that's not normal. Noah said he understood, but told us he needs to stand by the vows he made to his wife. We get that to an extent, and we wished him well. So yeah, Alyssa got to sleep with another man, go on a nice vacation, lose her job, and still come home to a husband and a warm bed. All's well that ends well. I don't even know how to feel about this anymore. If they want to live their broken, messed up version of a marriage, that's their choice. I'm not even mad now, just drained. Honestly, I'm almost relieved it's over because I don't think I could have kept dealing with this chaos. I knew this was going to happen eventually, it's just who Noah is, but it still feels just as pathetic as it sounds. Maybe I'm rambling, but I'm glad we decided to step back. Both of them clearly have serious psychological issues that only a professional could help with, but neither of them will ever actually do it. I'd rather just be done with people like this. Sorry if I sound harsh, but at the end of the day, both of them are dealing with problems I never signed up to handle. I don't need that kind of stress, especially now that my husband and I are trying for kids. So yeah, I guess this is it.